Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to a 1 vs 1 on Fame and Will approach between the West. We got Arnolaz fighting for Germany. The Wehrmacht here with assault support, elite troops and lightning war with infantry, anti-tank gun and panzerfaust bulletins. Versus in the East, we got Vey fighting for the United Kingdom. King and country here rolling out with 11th Armoured Division. We've got Commander Regiment, Royal Engineers and Mobile Assault with double infantry and tank bulletins here for Vey. So, let's have at it right here on Fame and Will approach. We've got MD42 Grenadiers there holding out for Arnolaz. MD42 almost on. Grenadiers a bit further away. There's sections moving out aggressively, sandbagging right next to the northern field point. Another section moving up here. Basically, Vey's trying to put up against his opponent, trying to rush for the northern field point, though. Right there's a brief moment there where they tried to run off to assist with the other sandbag. There's a bit of a radius. There's a pad quite big for them to move over there. You know, I think we should help out with those sandbags over there. It's all the way over there. Why should we? We should. All right. But there you go, pushing ahead. This is then sort of trying to block off and direct house access there. Sandbags down. Then we can see Arnolaz is focusing on the south. He's also riding off. He's preparing the battlefield ahead here. Basically trying to make it really difficult then for Vey to rush the house to the machine gun. And Grenadiers being pushed back there with the section. Quick shots there from the Lee Enfields. Puts down poor Gefreiter Otto. He served well. And there goes section moving in there. So we can see Arnolaz here basically focusing initially on just trying to set up good positions, but at the same time at the cost of not getting resources. Whereas Vey is trying to sort of do, just grabbing territory, but also they got the hit that's of battling around the point. So in that regard, he's going to have a slight resource edge. Of course, depends on how well he then sort of deals with the machine gun in the center. When he then proceeds to completely putts it up, obviously Arnolaz might be able to pull through. More Grenadiers there arming for Arnolaz. So we got two Grenadiers, one MD42 here for Arnolaz. Section moving up, there's the MD42. We got a Vickers out for Vey, which could actually beat the MD42 in heavy cover, since the Vickers does a lot more damage than the MD42. So there you go, MD42 versus Vickers. MD42, there we should be able to fire back at it. Depends really on how it goes. With a bit of luck, the MD42 can win, but there's also a chance the Vickers can actually force out the MD42. So far, they largely still seem to be keeping each other sort of reasonable pace, but there we go. Arnolaz provides the tipping element here with the pioneers flanking. Very good move there by Arnolaz. Up here, Gunnisman against a section. And there go, caught out in the open again. He's going to have to fall back. He can decap the point, but that's about it really there. And I think that's also what's... Now he's going to... Yeah, not going to try for anything more. That's just going to cost him Grenadiers. Without cheating much, if he pulls on heavy cover, the Grenadiers will just, by nature, having 2 or 4 versus 2 able to fire here, they will be able to win out. Except... only Johan is able to fire back, which means it's pretty much pointless, at which point you just fall back, because then it's 2 versus 1, and that's just an engagement that is not really good at all for Arnolaz. Hey guys, how about you help me out here as well? 9, you know, we have our orders not to shoot unless we are within a specific range, despite the rifles technically being able to hit back. Vickers moving up, this is going to try and pressure in the south. The Arnolaz again slow and getting the field, like being focused more around sort of pressuring his opponent. Now might be running into a bit of issue. There you go, MD42 versus Vickers. This time they're both in the house. And in this case, there might be a chance because they're switching over to the Grenadiers there. So the MD42 gets several free hits on the Vickers, which could allow him to win there. Mortars moving up here for Arnolaz. A Grenadier there for here for the, well, it didn't actually assign the division, but the 12th SS, Panzerdivision Hitlerjugend. Sniper moving about here as well, so we got a fast tech up there for Vey, and a sniper to help dig out the machine gun. That's definitely one approach there. You can choose to do so. A lot of British players, of course, will on a map like this just try and set up a mortar emplacement, but clearly Vey doesn't find that very amusing, or perhaps wants one later. Either way, sniper out here earlier on can also be used to cause pressure. Other mounts a lot more aggressively, and of course has a more nasty psychological element. Telemines in the south here to ward off against any armoured cars, unless there's taking no chances with the AC Mark III, which seems to be making a resurgence with British players. 6-pounder gun there on the way for Vey to ward off against enemy vehicles. And almost got the machine gun there. Lost the MD42 there. Arnolaz too slow. Much too slow, and he paid the ultimate price. Well, his crew paid the ultimate price. Arnolaz just lost the machine gun. The only sort of positive there was he didn't actually hand it over to his enemy, but that was pretty bad there for Arnolaz. That should have been a bit faster gotten out of there. Either way, he's going for a counter sniper to that way deal with his opponent's sniper. Of course, if that doesn't work out, Arnolaz is going to be in some heavy sauerkraut. But if you can put it off, of course, that will allow Arnolaz to that way, get a bit back. But otherwise, right now, Vey's then sort of pushing ahead there. with infantry, machine guns, and snipers, whereas again Arnolaz is just infantry and, well, a sniper. Plus the mortar, though. More telemine, we can see that Arnolaz is really concerned about the southern vehicular breakthrough. Really concerned. He is just very thoroughly mining the south with telemines. We'll have to see how that works out. Hopefully Vey doesn't stop by with a minesweeper. Sniper hanging about. He's clearly looking for the British sniper. Doesn't want to reveal his own. He just wants, pop him out and then just take out that bastard. There we go, take up down for Arnolaz. Vehicle took up the good gunners moving from the other side. Not quite within range of a rifle grenade there, I think. Sniper hanging back. Perhaps Vey himself is also expecting a counter sniper at this point. Again, it's a common response from a lot of Airmark players. And Arnolaz here, though, is going for an interesting move there. He's going for double mortars. A small mortar battery there to support his frontline troops, help deal with sort of the infantry of Vey, and of course deal with the support as well. So that's a bit of an aggressive approach there from Arnolaz. In some ways, some would also call it excessively defensive, but I've seen players make pretty good use of double mortars, not aggressively. So that should be pretty interesting there, though. He might lose the pioneers here. In fact, yeah, they're gonna. No, he pushed back the enemy machine gun there. Good work by Arnolaz and the men of the 12th SS. So double mortars. Harassment up north here. Grenadiers pushing it. Mortar, though, he's not paying attention. Arnolaz is not paying attention. Not good. Fuel point there being harassed in the south. Sniper still hanging about there. Again, he's still trying to basically bait out. The sniper now is going to lose the Grenadiers if he's not careful. So this is getting a bit risky here for Arnolaz. His infantry complement is rather weak. He's relying a lot on support weapons. He's losing control of the map here. So rough start here for Arnolaz. Rough start. Mortar there also getting shot at inside his own base. Getting off a hit on the section. Almost wiping it, but he might try and go for the wipe on the gun. There you go, machine gun bunker saves the day. Very close to wiping it with the mortars, but Arnolaz there has been completely pushed back. In this regard, 2 Grenadiers is just too little. As a rule of thumb, you generally want 3 infantry squads. So unless you're sort of rushing out Panzer Grenadiers or Stormtroopers or something like that, you generally sort of like want 3 Grenadiers, and that's kind of what Arnolaz doesn't have. Tosin lacks a machine gun, and Arnolaz actually lacks a lot of ability to maintain a sort of coherent front line versus Vey, so that is definitely something that Arnolaz needs to look into very fast towards fixing. Because setting up control there. Do we have any bolted sections? No. Instead, we have the armoured cars being prepared there for Vey. Section being about there. Telemine jet discovered. Though he does have minesweepers about, so in theory he could stumble upon it. Medic banker up for Arnolaz and the 12th SS Hitlerjugend. Drawing primarily from former Hitlerjugend members. Well, they're sort of transitional, I suppose, there between the Hitlerjugend and other bits. That's sort of the primary source there of them, though of course they might sort of been loosened up as the war progressed. Was formed up in Normandy in 1943 using a cadre of members of the 1st SS Panzer Division, which caused some problems, but apparently they were able to make easily off with it, partly by using a lot of Luftwaffe recruits, which on the other hand were not happy about being drawn into a Waffen-SS division at that point of the war. But by the time of Normandy, where the 1st SS was in good order again, there were apparently no issues because the 1st SS had been able to just quickly assimilate the Luftwaffe troops and make them sort of fully part of the Waffen-SS division by that point. As a fun fact, that was basically sort of part of the German force structure, the ability to just, assimilate, recruits for replacement wherever they come from pretty well and sort of just make them work within a reasonable amount of time, which tends not to get talked about so much. But there you go, we got G43's Lightning Ward here for Arnolaz. A bit more aggressive approach, but also with a few sort of ways of just, getting a bit back. Relief infantry can allow them to, soak up some of the losses of Airmark player and others suffer without falling too far behind, so that could be good here for Arnolaz, though he still needs to go, I think, for a 3rd Grenadier squad, at least some Panzer Grenadier. But there you go, we got the armoured car pursuing here, going for the wipe. Probably would have been helpful for Arnolaz if he'd also mined the northern half of the map rather than just the south. Also push for the CoH point here, realising can't even take this, so instead of just pushing for it, he's instead going to try and initially settle for the minor victory, just denying his opponent access to the southern fuel. So I think that's a tactical choice there that is very sound for Arnolaz. Has more of an impact on his opponent than an impact for him, but that could still buy him sufficient time to do something about this. We also got weapon racks going up there for Vey, with Bren guns being handed out. Their section moving up here. No grenades for Vey, though. We do have a grenade there, though, from Arnolaz, the rifle grenade. Armored car hanging about there. Waiting behind. Pack 40 moving ahead a bit as well there. More G43s for Arnolaz, but not enough infantry still. Granted, they doesn't have a lot, but that's British infantry, and the sappers can to an extent also work a bit as infantry with a bit of goodwill, a few Bren guns. But there you go, anti-tank and shoots, misses. Sniper there has revealed himself base. At this point, Arnolaz, I think, has realised that just doing nothing with the sniper is actually worse off than opponent knowing he has a sniper, because at least that way they're sort of forcing his opponent to be more careful. But just having the sniper stand about doing nothing, it's going to, in the longer run, just be a waste of that 360 manpower you invested into it. But he got the sapper, scored a small victory there for Arnolaz here. Very small victory. Grenadiers on the way there.
Ready to go on reconnaissance.
6 moving up the eastern side. th SS was part of the 2nd SS Panzer Corps, which fought in Normandy there, of course, and would primarily fight against the 1st Canadian Infantry Division. And the fighting between the two was quite aggressive and rough. So, you know, if you know the Canadians are polite, well, they weren't very polite to the 12th SS, and the 12th SS was not very polite to the Canadians. So that's a little fun bit there. Goodness me against the section here, but Bren guns versus unit out in the open, that is very much so, you know, a decided engagement here between Arnolaz and Vey. Vic is flanking up here pretty aggressively with Vey. Actually succeeds in pushing back the mortars a bit, but the problem is he actually risks handing over the machine gun to Arnolaz. But there you go. Could even have been a diversion here. He actually now pushes ahead from the front, so still risking losing the Vickers, but actually completely disrupting Arnolaz's already weak defense there. So it's not something I'd recommend to the average player, but I would say that was a pretty good move there by Vey. The risky, but in the end, it actually allowed him to disrupt Arnolaz's defenses to allow for a successful frontal assault. So that was pretty good there by Vey, pretty good. Diversionary attacks tends not to sort of be something a huge feature of Company Heroes 2, but you know, they are something you do sort of got the skill for it. And if you can pull them off, they can be quite useful. Mortar needs to pull back there. Arnolaz, I think, is playing them like their American mortars, taking them very, very close to the front line, and looks like he might just lose. Yeah, he lost the mortar there to Vey. No tech up. Still feel a bit short on a lot of things, including infantry. And certainly on resources. Vey here could actually be taken up there against Arnolaz, but so far it's not. They, though, I think at this point should consider some more infantry as well himself. They'll either go for some commanders of some sort, or just more sections. There we go, section pushed back, Snowball's falling back a bit. We got the 7th wing here. They might try and rush the mortar there, but that could backfire there. So there you go, gonna just get poor Tommy. There you go, Sniper arrives, gets a good hit there from hiding in the ditch. And there you go, resecuring the southern fuel point a bit. Too many infantrymen bunched up to secure more of the territories. Telemann still about, and we got the armoured car back here waiting repairs. So Arnolaz here is successfully pushing back at Vey, though it took him a bit. Also needs to get around to crewing that mortar. Might need some pioneers for that, or he could try and set up enough for relief infantry that way. Hoping he can get some Ostrom out fast enough to that way, you know, regain the mortar for the fatherland and the 12th SS. Another fun fact about the 12th SS in Normandy was it was actually one of the first units to receive the Jagdpanzer. Well, it was supposed to, but it actually didn't arrive in time. It was only by the time that largely the whole fighting in Normandy was over that it actually arrived. So I do believe they actually fought in Normandy without the tank destroyer battalion. That's a fun side note. Though the likely would have been provided with some kind of replacement, either sort of Stoogs or Mardis. Which is, for example, what the 17th SS did. They actually had a Marder attachment directly, or them crew Mardis while they waited for the Jagdpanzer. I don't know about the 12th SS though, but Pioneers have been pushed back with the Vickers. Overall, aggressive use of the Vickers by Vey. Certainly putting good use of it there. Pack 40 in a bad position. Note there, he's actually set up in such a way he actually has to sort of turn it about there to get out there, which gives his opponent more time to destroy it. Replacement machine gun finally up there for Arnolaz. Losing the southern fuel point again. Vey just keeps up the pressure versus Arnolaz and the 12th SS, proving to be very, very nasty here. Quick raft grenade lands a decent hit on the section, but they are still firing Bren guns, and we note here they have got double Bren guns up. And Arnolaz here going for a double pack 40. I don't think at this stage it's because he's playing for the Tiger, but because he's just so far behind in the fuel race versus Vey. He knows he's going to get hit by a lot of armor very fast, at which point he's going to need some serious anti-tank firepower to that way have a chance versus the advancing tanks that they will likely be hitting him with. Double mortars now moving out, their troops reinforcing. Going to be moving towards the fuel point here. Vey laying down mines, that's very good. He has not spotted the teller mines to the south, but so far there's been no reason to pull the vehicles down there. You could also consider trenches, that will help slow down Arnolaz as well. And of course emplacement from nope. We got fuel caches up here for Vey, setting up for long-term plate plus more mines, very good. That way you can ensure you can get more tanks out long-term besides having the 2 fuel points. So there's a very nice move there by Vey and the 11th Armoured. 300 points left here for Arnolaz. He needs to do something here to change the current status quo. He needs to do it fast. He could try and rush out some kind of armor here versus Vey, but it's still going to be pretty risky, but it might be his best option. We got more mines up here, so we can see Vey is being very thorough now, actually mining a lot of the map here against Arnolaz. He's clearly worried he's going to get rushed, and particularly he's going to be worried it seems Sniper's going to get rushed, so that's a very good move there by Vey, very good. Arnolaz very slowly moving ahead here. And he's smoking the anti-tank gun. He's smoking it. That's a very interesting choice. I think he's worried that can destroy his machine guns, especially with the house there, isn't it? There you go, Pantherfast in the armored car, and it's got... Oh. Sab's under fire there. Pack 40 can't quite hit the machine gun. I think he's going to have to fall back out of there unless he can't afford to lose a machine gun like that. Can he get that? There you go. Got the armored car section flying in there with Vickers support there. Mortars there need to send about. Dear. That was a bit of an interesting engagement there. Just double smoking the anti-tank gun. But there you go, we finally got relief infantry out here. Mortar fire falling in the machine gun. S6 pushed back. Machine gun dropped. Machine gun dropped. Dropped the Bren gun there for the Huns to use. But he doesn't have anything immediately. I can pick it up here. Up north, Pioneers versus Sappers. MP40s versus Sten guns. Brutal close quarters combat. Germans dropping like sacks of flour. Brits falling like sacks of Marmite. We got artillery called in here. Needs to retreat the machine gun. I don't think Arnolaz is aware though. Oh, there we go. Mortar wipe though. Awesome squad arriving. Machine gun very quick to retreat this. We got 25 pounder gun fire. We got hammer tactics. He's going straight for the comets. Basically, Arnolaz is feeling so confidently ahead. He's just moving straight ahead for the comets. That is definitely interesting play there by Vey. Ultra been some times in seeing the comets. Mortar needs to fall back here. Sappers moving ahead. Shilling reinforcing. We got 2 awesome squad side. He might even lose the other mortar, but that one's definitely going to be secured here by Vey. That's going to be a bit of a problem now, I think, for Arnolaz, unless he can maybe kill the mortar crew before they get away with it.
We're losing a capture point.
No, it looks like it's going to get away. Bit of a loss there for Arnolaz, but still he's pushing back, and the awesome should just give him more infantry. He should have more infantry out at this point, to be honest, but better late than never. I guess. There you go, straight into the machine guns, and the other nasty bits is going to have to retreat the grenadiers. Retreat, Arnolaz, Rückzug, they're suppressed, they're pinned down, they can't do anything anyways. Oh, he might just lose his victory 3 grenadiers. No. Poor Heinz there gets away just barely. Up north, Pioneers standing about. Here, troops moving up the mortar, and we got the 3rd awesome squad there arriving. Awesome down there, could secure the Bren gun here.
A capture point is being overrun.
Nope, apparently not. Apparently he either missed it, or he apparently doesn't feel it's necessary. So he's got a lot of elements now, though he could still benefit from taking out and just going out for some regular medium armor here versus Vey. Meanwhile, Vader is going for a Comet tank. In the south, they've got Victory Point there being secured by the Ostrom. They could pull up behind the sandbags though to sort of gain better access to cover bonuses and just, you know, be less shootable. But with this, Arnolaz is now sort of able to spread out across the map more aggressively, and that of course means they can't just easily focus anything on the centre. So with that, Arnolaz is opening up a few opportunities. We've got Ostrom there with the light machine guns. In the south of the Ostrom have not gone into heavy cover, instead gone for light cover, which I definitely think is a mistake there by Arnolaz, and certainly makes the section have a pretty good chance as the Ostrom. In fact, it looks like he's about to get them wiped because he's not paying attention.
Enemy causing trouble.
Loading Bowhead double brains, yeah, that's going to get wiped. Annihilated. Lost the machine gun again, though this time at least he can pick it up again. Still no tech up for Arnolaz, and the 12th SS needs to change something there soon. And we got the Comet tank out here for Vey. Arrived very, very, very late for the war ballway and was, I think, exclusively used by the 11th Armoured Division. At the 17-pounder gun, but with the shorter barrel, meaning less velocity, so they called it the 17mm gun, 77mm gun, specifically trying to avoid confusion with 17-pounder gun. Because, well, it actually used different munitions as well. The high explosive rounds was a bit different, so they had to sort of add some different designations to avoid any confusion. Little fun fact. There they go. Pushes through the Telemines. The Telemines finally paying off there. The problem for Arnolaz is he doesn't even have any way of sort of pushing in there. He's also got to kill somewhere, probably in the centre section, getting wiped up, maybe in the north. Ostrom Pioneers being about there, supported by the mortar. Com there trying to get away. Pack Fortress moving in. They could get the Comet, That would be a pretty big loss there for they and the 11th Armoured. Comet shoot. Scan the Pack 40 attack run and get it. No, they can't. The walls and the trees are sufficient enough of a shield for the Comet there to escape.
The enemy cut our supply line.
So there we go. Comet rolls away limping.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Arnolaz a lot more confident with all those Ostrom to support him. He's still not taking up. He's just floating resource. I think he's just playing straight for the Tiger.
Jerry's got 200
I mean, he could have had some armor out sooner, that way pressured they a lot better, so, you know, I feel like that's a bit of a miss, but I guess he's also been so far behind that it's not too big a deal either.
lines broken.
We'll have to see how that works out, but he can go for a Tiger. Hell, he could go for a Tiger and then tech up, so he definitely should take up. I mean, if he just goes for the Tiger only, that's a pretty bad move by Arnolaz. Meanwhile, Vader hard at work fixing up the Comet.
Capture point. They're trying to take it.
Got the Ostrom with the Bren guns versus the section with his Bren guns. Heavy cover versus light cover.
Snipers trained.
Good lord, they got Harry! Damn you, Jerry bastards! And then straight to the Vickers here, veteran 3, the Ostrom are immediately halted in the place. But the sniper joins in for a bit of good fun. He could actually use the incendiary explosive round to increase the, just the chance of just getting that machine gun. But looks like here Arnolaz is not a big believer of that ability. Ooh, rifle grenade off here, looks like. Yes, indeed. And got the machine gun actually still and turned away from there. That's going to be a bit risky. In the south, they continue to they've been secured by Arnolaz. Comet good to go. There we go. Comet attacks for the King, the Commonwealth. Almost got the Ostrom there. The Ostrom, I guess, tried to get the sniper there. Didn't quite work out though. And there we go. Arnolaz calls in the Tiger tank to support his beleaguered frontline troops. There go. Used the incendiary explosive round on the mortar. I mean, he kills it, but he can't secure it, so it feels like it was less necessary then, so you used the machine gun faster, but so far he's yet to try and actually secure it. That would, I think, do a lot for Arnolaz to secure the machine gun, at least just to deny it to Vey. Vey sending off his Comet on the same southern route, apparently having not checked for any further mines. In fact, this time around there's a double pack frontier ready to deal with the Comet. Tanks perform a lot better at working with infantry, or with a lot of other tanks. In this case, Vey is doing neither here with the Comet. Up north, grabbing the point here. We can see though Vase a lot more on the defense now against Arnolaz. Again, the extra infantry and treble pack 40s. Wow, that feels a bit excessive there by Arnolaz. Again, that's manpower they can be expecting, taking up instead of going for medium armor. So I feel like that is a lot less efficient there by Arnolaz. I do feel like the triple pack 40s could be a bit much there, and could give room here for Arnolaz to actually, or they, I mean, to push ahead and sort of deal a lot of damage. Tiger the moving forward, taking a few hits from the 6-pounder gun, pushing it back. Sabotage trying to get machine, but that's not working out. Comet not doing much to support either, though we can see he's always switched the pack 40s towards the center, expecting him to move the tank elsewhere. So in that regard, we can see that Arnolaz has gotten a pretty good beat on his opponent. In that way, sort of gotten a good idea there of how they operate. And that's actually a bit dangerous of if your opponent's able to sort of accurately predict your movements. There you go, Comet moves up, shoots, and spectacularly misses there the Ostrom. There you go. Got a decent hit. Tiger falling back, so far only one kill to its name though. So right now, Vase basically got two overall arcing options. You go for the Firefly to help counter the Tiger more aggressively. You'd also go for another Comet, so that way also just deal with it. They of course also have a bit of options versus the infantry. We'll have to see what it goes for, but I mean, if he chooses to focus down the Tiger harder, he could do a lot of damage that way to his opponent. But again, the double Comets would offer him more breakthrough opportunities and more ability to deal with the infantry as well. So either option would be, I think, pretty good there for Vase, though he just needs to actually make it. He also spots the second Telemines there. Finally. Gonna do this, they're not properly in heavy cover by the way, so they're actually taking a lot of damage there. They might as well be out in the open because they are. South secured here against the dastardly dirty Huns. Arnolaz is now taking up, getting ready for some additional panzers. That is good. Push on the centre there because Sapper's moving ahead there. Oh, got the Sapper team there. But he gets the machine gun back. There we go. We got another 25-pounder gun barrage off here from Vay against Arnolaz. Trying to catch the 25 guns. There we go. Direct hit on the pack 40. Direct hit wipes the crew. That's going to hurt a bit there. In the South, Tiger strikes in against the Sap section there on its own. No support here against any German armor. Needs to retreat immediately. He might still lose them though. He hasn't also dealt with the termites there. Section almost wiped out by the Tiger. Almost. Going for the mortar with the Ostrom even as the slow is raining down. Bit risky there by Arnolaz. There we go. Almost got the pack 40 here with the 25-pounder gun shells. Some more death rains here from Vay's base against those filthy Jerrys. Con moving in here. Don't need to be careful about the Telemines. And there he goes. Shoots at the Tiger. Misses. Tiger turns, shoots, and penetrates the Comet's front slam. And there you go. Another hit here from the Comet. 6-pounder gun supporting here. Another Comet on the way. And careful with the Telemines. There you go. Almost got the Tiger. They're swimming up. There's a Panzerfaust tip. You got air support called in here by Arnolaz. Stuka called in here. Kanonenvogel. Stun the crew there with the 37 mechanics there mounted on it. Just need to keep pulling up that Comet before it's too late. Tiger moving ahead though. Takes hits there, almost got it, but taking a lot of damage here from Vay's anti-tank defenses. Almost got the Tiger there, but the Comet lives to see another day. The second Comet is almost on there for Vay and the 11th Armament. And in the centre, also mortar machine gun, they're all sort of standing about. And he's going straight for tier 4. He is going straight for tier 4 here, Arnolaz. No medium armor. Instead, he's planning Tigers and Panthers. Bold, aggressive move there by Arnolaz. Bold, aggressive. Risky, though. Very risky, but in this case, might just work out for Arnolaz. In particular, with Comets out on the field, Panthers are not a bad choice. Only better than Panzer Forster. Could have gone for Stoogs. There we go, Comet strikes, charging forward at the Jerrys. And moving towards getting the north here. So they, though, very much in the defense. And again, Arnolaz just from more infantry support weapons. And of course, big tanks. Has a good chance of pushing back there. And so far has done it. We also got a munitions cache up for Arnolaz, by the way. He has built a munitions cache. So while Vey is going for fuel, Arnolaz is going for munitions. Interesting priorities there for both players. Then again, Arnolaz isn't exactly lacking in fuel at the moment. So you can understand the munitions cache. He is going to need more pioneers to help repair his tank. Because just one pioneer squad for the Tiger tank is going to take ages to fix up. Comet moving ahead. Engaging there in the mortar crew and wiping it. Lost for Arnolaz, and there you go, second coming up for the Senegal. Another pack footer there wiped. This is where smoke's been pretty great for Vey. He would just call it in here and then could just move straight past him. He could even grenade them from his tanks if he wanted to. But he needs to pull back that the combat fort gets destroyed here. Vey there, apparently forgetting his comment, that's pretty about. There you go, wipe the pack footer there, still taking fire from the other one. Sniper veteran free there for Arnolaz and the 12th SS. But there you go, combat fort back here. Both comets now heavily damaged and need repairs, so he does have more sappers than Arnolaz's pioneers. Rasmus up here, Grenadiers sections moving about, they're securing territory for each other's respective nations. Noting we're half an hour into the game and Vey has yet to choose a doctrine. That's definitely not good. At this point, I'd probably suggest, either Commander or Mobile Assault. Personally, I go for Commander Regiment because you'd have access to the mortar cover ability, which is a really good ability of just providing, artillery support as you attack, an area. So it's just constantly automatic. Plus, of course, Commander, Smoke, Raid, and Assault, all good abilities. So, of course, he might just go for a Mobile Assault, which you can also offer Infiltration Commanders and the Land Matches, which are also doing pretty good. But he definitely needs to choose either of those two, I think, to really have a chance there versus Arnolaz. And Arnolaz, I think, needs to get the Heavy Panzer Corps up so and get out some Panthers to challenge and contest Vey's Comets there, because the Tiger's not going to cut it in his own long term. Ooh, machine gun wiped here. 25 kills there for the Fatherland. And there you go, Heavy Panzer Co-op for Arnolaz and the 12th SS. We got the Tiger moving ahead here. Part of the 102nd SS Schwere Panzerabteilung. There you go, Pack 1 lands a good hit in the Comet. Comet attack forward. I mean, at the moment, they're also noticing here in the Vey's patterns, initially he was good at flanking up, maneuvering in diversion attack, but increasingly he's just focusing ahead on assaults and straight on assaults. While you're trying to actually outmaneuver his opponent, there's a less tactical savvy there, so that's also, I think, an increasing chance of Arnolaz to actually win this, because again, it just makes it a lot easier for Arnolaz than defend against Vey's attacks. Again, if he just has to expect, from a certain angle, Oh, he got the veteran 3 sniper there. Big win for Vey, though. He has lost several snipers himself. Oh, Tiger tries to get a hit there. Heinz shoots that sniper. I want that bastard dead so I can peek out of my Panzer. Also, fun fact, this cupola they're using the Tiger's actually the old model was actually replaced because it was just too big and too conspicuous. In particular, the way it opened, it'd go away, the commander actually popping his head out, which generally meant they'd try and fire at it. It would later replace one that sort of just opened more sidewards. In fact, you can see that cupola on the King Tiger. Little fun fact there. Panzerwerfer for Arnolaz? Not a fan of that. I feel like the Panzerwerfer there is perhaps not the best choice here versus Vey. And he should be prioritising a Panther to help fight the Comets rather than going for a Panzerwerfer which can't fight the Comets. There we go, we got the Panzerwerfer 42 out here for Arnolaz and 12th SS. Troops passing through the south, heading for the victory points there, very good. Mortar forgotten by Arnolaz. Tiger lands a good hit there, but there you go, Comet returns to the field. But they've still got the Pack 40s coming for the front. We've got the sniper supporting, but overall, there's no real attempted outmaneuvering Arnolaz. So, I mean, again, it makes it easy for Arnolaz to defend. Awesome getting sniped. Tiger slowly advancing for Germany. And the south point's being secured. Back here. Not much happening there. We got a Panther Basher trying to kill some stuff around here. Got the enemy mortar silencing it forever. And a few other Tommies. So that's not too bad there for Arnolaz. That is not too bad. Comets though, largely hanging back here for Vey. Not really doing a lot for him. He needs to get more aggressive. I'd probably suggest a larger attack into the north, then using that to swing up behind Arnolaz's defences here. If you could sort of do that, I think that'd be pretty effective. But so far, again, he's using the Tiger or the Comets in a much more conservative and static element. There you go, flanking up here behind the Titan. One Comet. This other Comet is not supporting me. The Comet here is going to take a lot of concentrate aside from the Pack 40s. And there he goes, going to lose it. He's going to lose it. He's got a 6 Panic supporting the rest of the Tiger. The problem is, it's not enough. And his Comet gets destroyed. So when he finally gets around to utilising it, it was too unsupported. So that was a rather big loss there for Vey versus Arnolaz. Rather big loss. At this point, Vey might really want to consider Firefly to help deal with the Tiger tank. Particularly considering the way he's playing things out, the Firefly would suit his approach a lot more than the Comets or Cromwells would in dealing with the Tiger. Because again, Arnolaz is not really displaying a lot of flanking, so at this point of the fight, so at that point, if he's not going to flank, he might as well just go for the best tank destroyer he can get rather than relying on his tanks. So that's basically the trick there, I think, for Vey. But there you go, Arnolaz launching a flanking assault from the south. Good work there. And just creeping up, they should be able to get some good kills here. Chance of getting the sniper there, but he's focused on the anti-tank and prioritising big. There you go, Panzerwerfer barrage off as well. Sniper wipe, anti-tank and wipe. Big loss here for Vey. Vey charging his Comet in against the Tiger. Straight into the midst of everything. Just plunging himself deep into the heart of Arnolaz's defence. And there you go, target weak point. No real support here. Taking a lot of losses. There's got another Comet on the way here. But chance of getting the Tiger actually minimal. Oh, Comet down. That was a complete toss away there. Tried to hit the Gammon Bomb. Oh dear, that was just brutal. Absolutely brutal here. And not encouraging for Vey. And now there's a big gap there in population between the two. So he's in a very rough spot at the moment here, Vey. He's in a very rough spot. And now Arnolaz goes for the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Sapper's moving ahead there for the 6-pounder gun, but not quite grabbing it right away. Vic is moving up support as well there. We got troop flanking in from the north. Good work. Just going to have to retreat his section there. And there you go. Comet number 3 out for Vey and the 11th Armored. There you go. We got relief him for Arnolaz, helping so we have losses. Set them up and just hammer those sounds. You also got Bren guns here on the Zapper. There you go. Comet moves in. Gonna need something wiped out. Awesome squad arrives. Trying to get a wipe. If you can get the gun, just wipe that. Certainly help him out a bit. Pack 46. Oh, he moves the Panzerwerfer ahead. Misclick by Arnolaz. Misclick. Cost him the Panzerwerfer. But there you go. Target weak point on the Comet here by the Pack 40s. They clearly underestimating his opponent's anti-tank tenacity. I think you should clear out the machine gun if possible, then recruit the Pack anti-tank and then wipe the Pack 40 there before Arnolaz has a chance of getting it back. That's too late now. But there you go, we got the Panther out here for Arnolaz and the 12th SS, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Another sniper over there. He's actually gone for several snipers. I think I've lost the exact count. That is his 3rd sniper. That is actually quite a few snipers there. There you go, Panther charging ahead. Needs to be a bit careful with that. So far he's got most of his opponent's infantry on the run, so I mean it sort of works out, but you know, one wrong move in that Panther could very well be a burning tin can. Got a successful penetrating hit on the front arm of the Panther, and how the hell did that happen? How? What happened there? I don't suppose you could help me. I've got a frightful headache. I think I had too much to drink. I mean, the physics engine certainly is the gift that keeps on giving when it just comes to weird things with the infantry models. Still the mortar there. Again, Vey has yet to choose a doctrine. At this point, he really should just choose commander and then use mortar cover to support his advances. I think it's basically the best suited doctrine for him at the moment. So he just really could also go for mobile assault and use advanced cover combat, but I really think commander regiment with assault smoke rate and mortar cover would be ideally suited for Vey. Ideally suited for Vey, but again, 40 minutes into the game, he's yet to choose it. We got another Panzer effort for Arnolaz. It can really insist in getting on. I think you should just go for a Panther here, but or a Storm Panther maybe, but oh well. You got the gun advancing with Bren guns and G43s. Catching the sappers out in the open. And dispatching the sappers out in the open. Seeing the Pack 40s, we can see that Vey now supplying himself with German equipment there, so that way fight the Hun. Ooh, Grenadiers are going to move to the mine, and there we go, but damages to the engine of the Comet as well. Got to close the attack here, head on with the Tiger infantry machine guns, and the tank gets mortar fire raining down here. Grenadiers taking further losses from the Comet, Sniper moving up support as well there, anti-tank is flying at the Tiger as it moves ahead. No flank here attempt, I think, from Arnolaz, no diversionary message either. Tiger gains virtually 2, which means increased range and increased action, well, more specifically less scatter. Almost got the sniper there, 6-pounder gun lands a good hit there on the Tiger tank. Got a Panther barrage here on the supporting elements, getting sapper kills, anti-tank gun kills, but not wiping any units. Panther need repairs, Tiger need repairs. Arnolaz is in need of more pioneers. Also, victory points is now really close between the two here, really close. Vey, though, is actually getting back into this, though, despite having suffered some quite heavy losses just not too far ago. He is getting back into this versus Arnolaz, and it probably is helped by the fact that Arnolaz is just not getting more pioneers to repair his panzers. I mean, he's getting now Tiger tank and a Panther need repairs, and he's still only got one pioneer squad to do the job. That is definitely insufficient number of pioneers for him. So that's definitely something that Arnolaz needs to fix, and they though needs to, you know, choose a doctrine again. Commando. I mean, mortar cover is an amazing ability, so really should try to continue using that one, to be honest. Well, again, so far, Vey is just not showing any interest in it. And we are slowly inching towards the 50-minute mark. Vey, though, can someone actually go for another Comet? Again, with Panthers and Tigers about, I'd strongly urge a Firefly tank destroyer at this point. Your losses onto the tank, and there you go, Grenadier flank going in there, very good move Arnolaz, there you go, calling in the air support as well here, the Luftwaffe strikes. Now that was a good move there, disrupts here, base defences, causes panic and terror, there we go, almost got the Comet as well there with the aircraft, when he's out in the open taking losses, gotta wipe somewhere, but might get able to get one of the Grenadiers here. Nope. Arnolaz has the luck of the devil, but needs to get the Comet away from there. Then again, they can't see it. And there you go, Panther barrage here, showing the defences, troops moving straight to the Tigers, and Panther's line of fire. And finally, Arnolaz is going for another Pioneer squad. And we can see that Vey's very quick to hit the remaining victory points. In fact, now quickly bleeding out Arnolaz. Arnolaz needs to, you know, swiftly form up a counter-attack to hit the, I think, the other points, because right here, I think Vey's going to be a bit too strong to initially want to attack heading into that. But his Tiger's almost good to go. Warning shot there, shattering a fence. That was awfully nice of you giving him a warning shot, Helmut. I was actually trying to kill him. Oh. Yeah, sorry for disappointing. Cash spotted and about to get destroyed here. The great munitions binge for Arnolaz has finally come to a close. As they puts an end to excessive German spending in munitions. Oof, almost got a section, there we go. That's quite a loss for Vey. He's also floating a lot of munitions again. Commander Regiment, mortar cover. Seriously, mortar cover is just an amazing artillery ability in the game. I'm surprised not more people use it because it is just great. Oh, awesome wipe there. Pack 45 there, the advancing Tiger. But it's on its own. The Tiger easily wipes it out there. Machine gun there almost taking wiped out by the mortar. Tiger, Panther moving in. We got the Comet moving in. Comet moving in. Shoots, bounces. Tiger, Panther flying hit back the Comet. Sabbath moving in. Needs to turn back the Comet. He really should go for the Firefly though. Panther moving forwards here. Got a machine gun team somewhere. There you go. The Panther makes a mistake. Explosion of the rear armor to the Panther and the... Well, to the Comet and the anti-tank gun. Panther close to half health already. Really needs to be careful. Needs to be careful. Needs to get out of there. Needs to get out of there. Arnolaz, schnell, Rückzug. Almost got the Panther. Oh, he's actually moving front of the anti-tank gun and it gets knocked out. Big loss there for Arnolaz. Panther annihilated. More Comets for Vey. Still no doctrine. Commander Regiment. Commander Regiment. It's cheap too, only 150 munitions. You could use it a lot. Quick barrage there into Vey's base disruption from repairing the Comet there fast and efficiently. All 3 victory points are being secured here by the German army.
There's a Comet tank ready to go.
Come on, Vey, Commander Regiment.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
I mean, they could use just call in to make it harder for Arnolaz to use his anti-tank guns and the likes there, but just having them hit with mortar and white phosphorus smoke fire. I mean, that's the thing. Mortar provides you a mix of artillery fire plus flares as well, I believe. So in that regard, it's a pretty damn good ability. And at this point, I think it would be just absolutely critical. Plus, I mean, infantry assault there could allow some infantry sections to move about faster. Reconnaissance, smoke raid will allow him to just decap points quickly and also lay down a ton of smoke. I mean, he could just do a lot very fast if he just were to choose it. He's got double comets up and I just need to utilise them efficiently, swiftly. Pushing southwards, we've got fresh tail mines from Arnolaz there, by good work. Gute Arbeit, Leute. Bunkers going up in the center to defend against any German infantry assaults there, very good. Looks like they've realised that just head-on assault is actually a pretty bad idea. Still no doctrine for Vey. Or regiment, or whatever you like to call it. Bunker up, and machine guns there on the way. There you go. Comet attack head-on there with no real support here again. Commander Regiment would be amazing here. Commander Regiment would be amazing. Pack 40 there, opening up on it. Mortar fire landing on the Pack 40 there. Target weak point, but oh, doesn't get off in time. Second Pack 40 gets one off here. Come on, Vey. Commander Regiment. Commander Regiment. Mortar fire in the second Pack 40 lands a good hit there. Bunker down, need to pull back the Comets before they get knocked out. 6 pounder got the target from the front. Let's fire here on the anti-tank machine in the center, I imagine. There we go. Doesn't actually land too well there. And Ty gets way too close to the 6 pounder gun. Up close, actually. Moving in the contest, sneaking a bit forward step. Pack 40 almost wiped out with the mortar fire. They might just be able to turn this around despite not choosing a bloody doctrine. Although at this point, he could actually be tempted, I think, just call back, then use vehicle crew repairs and Royal Engineers. He actually should do that now. I mean, again, he failed to choose a doctrine he could have. Actually done more effect, but you know, just choose a doctrine again. Just get your tanks fixed up quickly. Second Tiger there for Arnolaz. We could have called in the Panther sooner to support his Tiger, so that was also not too efficient there. Come on, Vey, choose a doctrine. The Royal Engineer, get some vehicle crew repairs going. I guess do the same with mobile assault. Get some commanders out. Maybe something else. Just choose a doctrine, Vey. Second wing for the northern munitions.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us. Comic crew, awaiting new orders.
Centaur on the way for V. Doctrine. Tiger moving ahead there. There we go. Finally chooses the doctrine. It ends up with Royal Engineers. 50 minutes into the game. He could easily have one up much sooner. Hell, if you want to go for this one, he could have much sooner actually designated a command vehicle, which would boost it in, units around. Hell, he pops in a comet. Imagine if he had a comet with command tank on it a lot sooner. And there you go. He actually calls in anti-building flame mortar support. The problem is, it only works versus units in garrisons. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of munitions. So yeah, that's less good overall. There you go. Comet, Centaur. Bay lining up for a big armoured assault here versus Arnolaz, and maybe Campbell-Dorothy with the command tank. Maybe. If you use it correctly. Of course, the trick is to remember the command tank moves slower than the rest, so he has to be able to keep pace. If they boost all of the units nearby. So done correctly. He could have a chance, though I don't think you should go for a straight head-on assault there. It would be a bit risky. But looks like he's going to do it anyways. Again. Command vehicle much slower than the rest. Don't. I think he forgot about that. Then again, he probably hasn't used it a lot, so it's easy to forget. I mean, if he were away, he probably wouldn't have been sending one command ahead of the rest of the father, because again, the command one is really slow. There goes Centaur knocked out. There he, I think, getting desperate, just tossing it all away, sadly. Had his assault there, I think, been better executed. He just laid down the smoke screen with the mortar he stole. You know, he probably could have done a lot better, but instead just ended up being a very rushed assault there with no real preparation there by Arnolaz. Allowing his tanks to take an awful lot of damage there from these anti-tanks. There goes, had to clear them out now. So again, had the assault just been a bit better coordinated, he'd probably done a lot better. There you go, Panther Barracks there, just shatters a lot of his stuff there, but doesn't wipe support units. Tiger almost knocked out here. Arnolaz needs to get that Tiger out there before the 6-pounder gun takes it out. Command tank moving ahead again. Arnolaz could try and going for another Panther, but it's also super low on infantry. Relief infantry should be chosen. Relief infantry. Rifle grenade gets the elite anti-tank gun crew. Panther fast in the comet. Ooh, Grenadiers almost wiped out here, and they likely could be wiped. Oh, gets lucky. Then instead he pops repair there. Problem is, he might actually chose the wrong time to do so. Anyways, he needs to contest the victory points where he can. It's 12 points to the left for Arnolaz, 50 left for Vey. This is going to get very close, but again, he's got nothing that can respond to the Tiger. Again, the Tiger can actually now move ahead with a sliver of health and actually try and knock out the command tank through the smoke. So that didn't quite work out, I think, there for Vey. But he needs to get the victory points. And we can see that in this case, Arnolaz realizes he's not going to be able to do anything, just pulls back the Tiger. Needs to get it fixed up, get the Pioneers working on it. 12 versus 47.
Flame mortars can be called to attack enemy structures.
Yeah, it can also be used versus bunkers, by the way, I guess. But there you go, machine gun bunker in the south occupied. I can actually call it in there versus it. I'd actually think work. Gonna use versus command tank, 6-pounder gun crew. Because opening up there as well. Shredding those guns very fast. We can actually pop a grenade here from the tank if he wanted to. And there you go. Panther rush to the head here. I think he's getting a bit desperate here, Arnolaz. He's just trying to keep they off the point somehow. But I'm not entirely sure how the Panther is supposed to achieve that. North here, we got a big S-man field to protect the point there. Clever. Also steals a Bren gun. Combat there, almost 53. We've got 12 points versus 27. Mortify there, trying to take out the bunker. He could have called in his anti-building flame mortar support. That really is awkward. Storm Panther for Arnolaz. 15 versus 12. He's not going to do this in time, I think. Then it is almost wiped out here by the command tank. Sappers need to get moving. It's too late. This is actually a command been excellent. Oh, know, something else. Oh, wait, it is white. But it's too late there. 1 point left, and with that, they loses. He was so very close. He was so very, very close. But really, they, I think, just heavily fumbled here with just choosing a doctrine first, like 50 minutes, you know. Had he chosen a doctrine a lot more actively, a lot more aggressively, I think he'd have stood a much better chance versus Arnolaz. Again, he'd be able to sort of synergize with the strategy a lot better. Also, more flanking. That was another big issue there for They got 2 folks in the centre. As for Arnolaz, too weak to start. Not enough infantry. Also, not enough Panthers at times there. Again, he should also take up faster. So there's some issues there on Arnolaz's side as well there. But overall, he was able to, you know, effect a better long-term strategy with the defence because he actually went for a doctrine. So that was, you know, the big one in this. Remember, go for a doctrine and, you know, try to choose one that synergizes the best. And if you're the Brits, don't neglect Commando. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. I know some people have been craving for Brit matches. So here you go. One with a lot of comments and a lot of other things. So again, if you enjoyed, you know, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. And of course, for future replays, links in the video description. You can also, you know, donate or, you know, support via Patreon with pledges. If you do send a replay, do provide links to around leaderboards, details, length of the match, where the match is happening, who's playing, and so on. The more details, the better. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, thank you for watching, hope to see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.